Okay. Hey Gary, how you doing?
Good, Seb. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Good to see you.
Oh, great. Yeah, same here.
So, did you catch that Super Bowl this weekend?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was brutal, man. Niner fan. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep that night.
Right. Well, at least it was a good game, right? I really, enjoyed watching. It was very exciting right down the last minute.
Yeah, yeah. It's just heartbreaking to get to that point and then lose, right? No matter how
Yeah.
you say it,
It
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 hurt.
well, at least we didn't get crushed, really. Well, at least it wasn't embarrassing. And you see the things on Facebook, they're like, "Oh, the game was rigged," the way the refs called it, going like, I'm sure it was rigged because they want to establish this like narrative about, like the Chiefs, three-time Super Bowl champs. I'm sure that, they did rig it, right? Well, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I don't believe that. It wasn't rigged or anything like
Okay.
that. You still got to play the game.
So we lost fair and square,
So
is what you're saying.
yeah, I think we lost, yeah, but it still hurts.
Right,
Hopefully,
right.
hopefully next year.
Oh, there's always next year. That's right. So, Gary, today we're going to be talking about hiring somebody to help a realtor with their marketing. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good topic to talk about. Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think? Do you think that realtors, especially like new realtors, right? Especially someone who's just getting in the business, do you think they need to hire somebody to help them with their marketing?
It's a good question. If you're a new realtor, you need to generate leads, right? So marketing agency, I guess it has to be the right one. I don't really agree with paying all that money to marketing agencies because they typically keep most of your money, right, for their management fees. That only small portion of your money goes toward your ads, right? So I don't think you gonna get that many leads. So let's say you spend $1,000, probably only 200 goes toward ads and 800 goes toward their marketing fees, right? So I don't I don't think it's a good idea. I would say probably learn how to do it yourself or hire a coach that can teach you all that stuff, right?
Right. Well, let me ask you this then, Gary. Like, what do you think the purpose of like marketing even is, really? Like for a realtor, for a new realtor, like what kind of marketing, what is marketing? Like what should they be doing? Like if you were going to spend any money on marketing, what kind of marketing would you be doing, do you think?
Well, I mean, there's many different type of marketing. You have your typical Facebook leads, Google ads, right? Then obviously mailings and realtor do all kind of different stuff, right? Social media. So I guess in the beginning, I don't recommend spending all that money, right? I would start off with getting a good coach and get started with prospecting instead of spending all that money.
Right. Well, I mean, I am somebody who has spent a lot of money on marketing, and I'm talking, tens of thousands of dollars a year. I'm not sure exactly how much I spent last year, but like I have a real hard time figuring out how any of that actually got me any business whatsoever. And I'm sure that some of it does, because what the marketing people will tell you, and it's true to a degree, and that is that marketing helps you stay top of mind for when somebody is thinking about doing a transaction like buying or selling real estate, and that by doing marketing, when it occurs to them like, oh, I should, I need to talk to somebody about buying or selling a home, and oh, just 5 minutes ago I saw, this guy in my Facebook feed or this gal on TikTok or whatever, that you're going to be like top of their mind when they have a need, and that is what the marketing will do for you. It builds, brand awareness. So even if it wasn't like 5 minutes ago, that they saw you. Maybe it was 5 days ago, right? They would go back and look in their email box or back in their junk mail pile at their house or whatever and think, okay, well, this is a person that I need to call. But, like, let's just say, Gary, that, like, because, you just mentioned it, right? There's like social media, there's like YouTube, pay per click, there's like mailers and all that. It's so hard to know where to begin, like what to do, right? And I mean, these marketing companies, they tell you that they have an answer for you, they have a plan. So, and I mean, I can understand how that would be valuable because, if you're doing all this yourself, you could spend, 10 hours a week more doing 20 hours, 30 hours a week, like doing marketing, and so whether or not you pay anybody for it, do you actually think that there's like 10 or 20 or 30 hours a week of value in actually doing marketing for a brand new realtor?
No, no, absolutely not. You got to spend that time on prospecting. And if you are going to do something like that, maybe a small budget on Facebook ads, like just like you say, just to stay, top of the mind, right? Not necessarily going to get you any business, but just to get your face out there, just so people can see you that you're active. And I would maybe do small budget on Facebook. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, so like, I mean, there's Facebook, obviously, the old standby, but then, a lot of people are going like, oh, Facebook, that's for like, boomers, right? Like, hey, boomers, for boomers and Gen Xers, but the millennials are coming really into the position where they're starting to like buy and sell a lot of real estate. Millennials are the biggest generation in America. And, like, maybe you're not going to be able to reach this biggest generation in America with the kind of marketing that maybe you're comfortable with doing because you're comfortable with Facebook, you're comfortable with PPC, right? I mean, this is funny. And people even say like the web is dead, right? The web, have you heard that before? I mean, like that's what they say. Like it's now we're at, internet 3.0, right? It's no longer 2.0, 3.0. The web is dead. So it really is hard to know like which way is best for you to go. And these marketing companies, they'll tell you that they have the answer for that. They have the strategy that will go and keep you top of mind so that, when people are ready to transact, they will reach out to you. Do you think there's any truth to that at all?
No, I don't think so. So I think you want to have some kind of CRM that has all those capabilities, running your ads and stuff like that. That might help. But I don't simply don't recommend just handing your money off to some marketing agency that running out of Philippines or something, right? And that's what most of these companies are, right? Even the ones that say they're local, but most of the people are back somewhere, right? So
Right.
they really don't know your business.
Right. They don't know your business. They don't know your market, right? So I think it will be really hard to believe anybody who tells you that they're going to be able to come up with a marketing plan for you because real estate is a very local phenomenon. So trusting in any of these marketing companies who tell you that what they can do for you is, going to be like any kind of like a magic bullet, that's really going to, move the needle on your business. I just think it's not realistic. And like, okay, so where I'm at in my career right now, like anybody who's telling me they're going to charge me like, $200 or $300 a month to give me some kind of whiz bang thing that I can plug in somewhere that's going to like move the needle in my business, I just know that's fake. But I think that a lot of people who are new in the business, they're like grasping at straws. They're like, okay, well, this is only like $200 or $300 a month. Like I can get this, it's going to make a big change in my business. But then there's a lot of other marketing companies. Maybe some people getting into the business, they have money to spend, right? Maybe they, are, they have some money of their own, or they're married to somebody who makes good income and they have money they can quote unquote invest in their real estate business, and they're going to spend $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month, because there's all kinds of companies out there who will charge you 1,500, 2,000, $3,000 a month to do like, we're going to do like one TikTok video a week, one YouTube short, one Instagram reel, we're going to do all this, and we're going to, help you set up your YouTube channel, right? We're going to do all this for you, and we're going to get you followers and likes. But none of them actually, I don't think, will actually tell you like, oh, we're going to get you deals. Right? I don't think any of them really promise that.
No, no. I mean, there's a lot of those companies out there. They promise you whatever, they guarantee, a certain amount of deals, or you don't pay, right? But all it is just bullshit. They take your money up front, and then good luck, getting any deals out of it, right? I mean, they may sell you some fake leads, right? And those leads will never answer your calls, right?
Right.
So,
Well, listen, even if it's a real lead, right? Like even if they do get you a real lead, how can they possibly guarantee that you're going to convert that lead, right? Because one thing is a very bitter lesson that I have learned is that, if you get a lead, it's for sure that person is talking to at least one other realtor, and usually two, three, or four, or five other realtors, right? And usually probably at least half or two-thirds of the time, they already actually have a realtor that they want and plan to use when they're going to buy or sell, and they're just looking to get like a second opinion, right? And that's reasonable, right? If you had cancer and a doctor told you you needed to do X, Y, or Z, you might get a second opinion, right, before you did anything drastic. And for most people, buying or selling a house is really drastic, right? So I don't think any realtor should, take offense, when they find out that, oh, this lead has been talking to somebody else. Yeah, of course they've been talking to somebody else. It happens to me all the time. I mean, even my clients that I have for like a long time, they end up talking to other realtors. You want to know why? Because like you turn over a rock in my town and there's three more realtors, right? I mean, like you turn around,
mhm.
you bump into somebody at the supermarket. Oh, it's a realtor, right? Like you look at your grocery cart. Oh, there's like an advertisement for that realtor you just bumped into, right?
That's true. That's true. I mean, there's just so many realtors out there, and your client, you think they're your clients, but not really. They're always talking to other people. So just like you say, second opinion. Or maybe someone realtor just happened to be there. They talk to them, right? And then that ends up being 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 a new lead for that realtor, right? So you think you got to lead, they got to lead, right? And most people in general, like buyer leads, they don't buy it for 3 years, right? That's average for buyer lead.
Is it really? Is it 3
So
years of the average for a
yeah,
buyer lead?
yeah, yeah. That's from the social media lead, right?
Oh, okay.
So and then even Google leads are at least 18 months from buying. So in that time span, they're gonna talk to other people.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you don't stay in touch with them, so even though you got a lead, but that doesn't do nothing, right? You
Right.
just got a name and phone number. It's a long, follow-up process before they can buy something. Seller, same thing. Seller time frames even longer. I heard that it's more than like 4 years before seller actually sells. They start nowadays. On the internet, people start searching way ahead of time, right? And you
Yeah.
think it's a lead, you
Yeah.
know.
That's
So
right. That's right.
so at the end, whoever's there at the end, that's who they go with, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, that's the thing is that like a real hot seller lead, like burning hot is like 6 months really, I mean like
yeah,
well that's not true. Like once in a while I'll get one which is like 2 or 3 months, but that's like record time, right? I mean
yeah,
most
yeah,
seller leads that I have thousands of them, right? I mean, like I'm nurturing them for like a long time. But when we talk about nurturing leads, yeah. So I'm doing marketing to these leads, right? I mean, they're seeing my stuff on YouTube, on Facebook, right? They're seeing me around everywhere, but very few of them actually like reach out to me and they say, hey, like I'm ready to go. Sometimes they do. But more often than not, the way I actually convert these leads is over time, over a long period of time, usually, at least like 6 to 12 months, right? And many times, quite often longer than that. And the way you get them to convert actually is you call them up, right? Or maybe you text them, right? I mean, but really you need to call them and text them periodically and see if you can't get them to reach out to you. Um, but the marketing companies, will tell you that retargeting, right? Like a lot of times, these marketing companies, what you're paying for is they're like, we're going to retarget these buyers because it is going to take such a long time for them to close. It's going to take 6 months or 12 or 18 or 24 or 36 months or whatever it's going to take. And they're going to tell you retargeting is the answer. And we have these great retargeting campaigns. And that's how you can very inexpensively, stay in touch or at least stay in front of all these leads. What do you think about like this retargeting aspect? Is there anything to that
Yeah,
retargeting?
yeah, you might be able to capture some, but what the problem is, your retargeting campaigns are only like 90 days. And what if the buyer's not buying for 3 years? You can't retarget them for 3 years.
Right. Well, I heard it was 1 year. I heard that the retargeting campaigns will go, well, at least when I look at the marketing companies that tell me they're going to do retargeting for me, what they say is anybody, who you've touched in the last year, like for like a Facebook pixel or whatever,
Yeah.
they will, retarget them. And then I guess if they come back to your site, then, or whatever, or your Facebook business page or something, that they will then continue to retarget them for 1 year since the last time they touched you, not you touching them. Um, but I've done a lot of retargeting, and I can tell you the one kind of retargeting that actually I feel that works for me, and that is to retarget only my sphere of influence, right?
Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
people that I have, right? So in my CRM, I have people who are graded as A, B, and C, right? So like A, B, and C are people who are in my sphere of influence group, and they're tagged A, B, or C, right? And so I don't want to talk about that right now, what A, B, and C means, but let's just say that A, B, and C total is like 300 people, right? Something like that. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if I retarget those people specifically on Facebook and on Instagram, it is actually very inexpensive to retarget just 300 people. Like I could retarget them for $30 a month, right? I mean, like $50 a month, right? Almost nothing. And I can
Mm-hmm.
do it myself. I don't have to pay a big company to do it. And then when I'm retargeting other people, like I never hear from them. Like, like I never hear from them at all, ever. Like they never actually like reach out to me and send me a message. Like I get messages from people I'm retargeting on Facebook, but you know what they say? 100% of the time, you know what they say, Gary?
What?
They say, oops, I didn't mean to click that button. I didn't mean
Yeah.
to click
Yeah.
the contact me to send me a message button. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch that, right? Like 100% of the time. And I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars like doing retargeting. 100% of the time, they will say, oops, I didn't want to buy or sell a house. That was a total accident. I'm still waiting for the time when one of those people like calls me back and says like or hits me up and says yeah, I did actually want to talk to you. It's always outbound, right? That is where you're going to get real traction in your business. And I don't think that it's necessarily uh cold calling that does it. Really, I think it's repeat calling, right? That's what really does it. I think that the fortune is in the follow-up, right? Like when you get a
Yeah.
new lead, it's hard to convert that lead right away, right? You need to
True. True.
basically enter that lead's consciousness. That lead is gonna blow you off, right? You know, probably like 98% chance they're going to basically tell you not right now, you know, and then you're going to need to, you know, stay in front of them, be top of mind, but you can't rely on, you know, like retargeting to be like any kind of like a magic bullet for you. And any company that tells you they're going to do this for you and it's going to be successful, I just think they're lying to you. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Those leads don't buy overnight. And then obviously there are ways you can automate that, right? I mean, texting or maybe voice messages or something, calling or emailing, right? You can automate a lot of the stuff to stay in touch with them. Obviously, you can't be calling every day, right? So, but you do got to stay in touch with these people for a long time. Some people don't buy, like, say, for 3 years, so, or sell. So you got to have a systems in place. I mean, typically there's a lot of CRMs nowadays that do all that stuff. You probably have one of those, right?
Well, I have a couple of them actually. And so that is the one thing that actually does work for me in terms of like automated thing, and that is email. And so I have some emails which are completely automated. And then I personally have an actual real email that I send out every week. I do it every week on Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. because somebody who's in the email business told me that Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. is the best time to send an email for open rates, right? And I'll send out 8,300. I think people currently receive my email, and I'll send that out every Tuesday. I don't care what I got going on, and I'll send that out. That's an email that I personally write. You know, there are other companies that will write those emails for you, and I've never really had any kind of luck with them. Have you ever hired any of those email companies at all to do your email marketing?
No, no, absolutely not. You got to do it yourself. You got to have a personal touch. And if you need help, just ask ChatGPT.
Well, don't tell anybody, Gary, but actually I do use ChatGPT. And so I don't have ChatGPT write my emails, but I'll like ask ChatGPT, you know, give it a prompt or whatever, and it'll come up with something for me. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll copy and paste that and I'll rework, you know, half or two-thirds of it, right? You know, and I'll have that be, you know, part of my email message. But then also my emails, they also do a YouTube video because I have like a YouTube channel, and
Yeah,
I will put YouTube you know, videos in my email, and I'll have people look at those. But that for me has been, you know, and then I have like this I have a system which sends people like an updated home valuation automatically, right? And then I have a thing where when they actually look at it, like they get sent an email, right? So like it sends two emails a month, right? So if I have 8,000 people, that's 16,000 emails that are getting sent a month. And of those 16,000 emails, there might be, I don't know, I'm going to say like 5 or 10 a week that actually click on the email, like maybe open it, but then they click on the link to go and like look at the website, which, you know, gives them all kinds of information about their house. And then when that happens, my CRM gets a notification from the, you know, home value system, and it in Follow Up Boss, which is one of the CRMs that I use. Follow Up Boss then sends them an automated thing saying, "Hey, what did you think of your value? Did you think it was high or low or just about right?" And that email, the high or low, just about right, that's all automatic. I'm going to say that uh, probably like 20% of people actually reply to that email. So every week I'll get like one or two people a week, you know, who are responding, and they're not necessarily going to buy or sell either. You know, that doesn't mean anything really. Well, it means a little bit. What it means a little bit is at least they know who I am, right? At least they are engaging with me in some respect. And that is an opportunity for me to build some kind of relationship with them where they would
Yeah.
actually consider calling me, like what if they really want to know how much their house is worth, right? I mean, like it's an
Yeah.
opportunity for
Yeah.
me to at least have a conversation with them. So I'm not just like randomly calling into 8,000 people, right? I'm going like, okay, well, this person, they reached out to me, they know who I am, we've had a conversation via email. But that's really the only kind of automation that has worked for me. But one other thing don't that I do, which is not automated, is I send text messages, but I send them manually. Now, Gary, I think you've done some automatic text messaging, right? Automatic text
Yeah.
marketing. Can you share your experience with that?
Yeah, no, I love automated, you just set it and forget it, you can have a message going out once a month or something like that. But obviously, if someone reaches out to you, you got to be available to text them back, right? Manually. So I mean, the automations are great, but you got to have the personal touch. I think too much automation is not good. You can't just
So,
leave everything to AI.
so Gary, how many people do you have in your database that you might text? Like, what's the size of that database?
Think I probably have about 1,100, 1,200.
1,100, 1,200. Okay, so
Yeah.
do they get texted once a month?
Yeah, once a month at least. Yeah.
And what does the text message say?
Text message simply is about depending on the lead. If it's a seller lead, maybe, hey, can you? I sent you an email. Did you check your value? Or if it's a buyer lead, have you been getting your automated, property listing? Just to check on them.
Uh-huh. And so let's just say that you're sending out one a month, 1,100, and then how many people reply back out of 1,100, would you say?
I think probably about 10%.
Oh, really? So you get 100
Yeah,
inbound
yeah,
messages?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's a lot. So do you actually reply to all those 100 replies that
Man,
you get?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You can't leave that to AI to respond. You gotta manually get in there and check on them, what's going on. Some of them, are still not ready. Want to do something, but at least you answer their questions, right?
Right.
They
Well,
might
you
have a
mentioned
question
AI,
about their
but so
value.
Gary, but
Yeah.
these marketing companies, they have AI chatbots essentially, like Iva, right? GoIva.com or whatever, AIVA, I
Yeah,
forget
there's
what it
there's
is, I
there's
mean,
a bunch
like,
of different ones. Yeah,
yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. Do you recommend any of these? I mean, do you think they're good or what do you think? I mean,
I don't like too much automation, honestly. I mean, automated text messaging is good, but once they respond, you gotta you gotta manually follow up.
so when your system gets a response, I mean, your system gets a response and you respond back, do they still get automated text messages or does it opt them out automatically of an automated system?
No, you can continue with those messages.
Uh-huh. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a setting that you can continue because the monthly messages are just to check in on them. I mean,
Right.
depending on the customer, if they don't want them anymore, they can opt out.
So are these automated messages? Are these like do you like pre-program these or are they completely AI driven or like where does the outgoing text come from?
Oh, the monthly messages are just automated. I mean, they're just pre-written.
But by
Just a
who? Do
simple
you
message.
pre-write them or they
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No,
you
I
pre-write them.
personally do that. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Right.
yeah. You can, like I say, you can ask Chat GPT. you
Right,
know.
right. But are they like so like, hi, blank, this is Gary, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering, do you need an update on your home in blank, or is it just not dynamic like that?
Pretty simple. The home sellers. They get a message every month. Hey, because I do send out emails too, right? Hey, did you get that email about your home value?
Right. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
simple. Yeah,
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
I think that we could have a whole like little discussion, Gary, about this. What platform do you use for that?
I use Go High Level.
Go High Level. I've heard a lot
Yeah.
about Go High Level, and I've had a lot of marketing companies set up Go High Level for me. And when I say a lot, I mean like probably like five or six different people have like set up Go High Level for me, and none of them has really, I don't think, delivered on the capacity of what Go High Level could do for me. So I'm really interested to learn more about how you use Go High Level. Do you think maybe next time we get together, you could tell me about how you use Go High
Yeah,
Level in your
absolutely.
business?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
because
we
Go High
need
Level does
to.
like does texting and emailing and uh, Facebook ads too, right? I mean,
You could do Facebook ad. You could run Google ads through it. Like you say, it's a good system to have. You can just plug it in, and you don't have to hire any marketing companies.
right. Well, I would really like to learn a lot more about. I mean, I know a little bit about Go High Level, but honestly, I played around with it, but I've never actually like had it do anything for me. I've always had other people, set stuff up for me, and it's rarely has it ever worked out very well. So maybe next week, we can talk about that. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, I got to bounce. I got to go show some property right now. So, anything you want to say before we wrap up here today?
Uh, yeah, I mean, going back to our topic, marketing agencies, I would say just do some research on them, and then don't just give them your credit card, right? Just be careful, you know.
That
Yeah,
is very good advice. Don't just give them your credit card because that's all they want. They want your credit card, and before you know it, you're into them for like hundreds of dollars a month with nothing to show for it. Usually, in almost all
and
cases.
and some of them will lock you in for long contracts. You can't even get out. So be very careful.
Yeah, totally, totally. All right, good deal. Listen, Gary, thanks so much, man. I look forward to chatting with you next week.
Yeah, same here. Talk
All right,
soon.
buddy. Take it easy.